All right, Kathy, with Enolytics, please take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, JC. Thank you so much. Let me introduce myself, Kathy Hoiha, co-founder and CEO of Enolytics. We do data analytics for the wine and spirit space. I also want to acknowledge and recognize Ron Scott, who is here. You may have seen him in the breakout room. He is the Chief Technology Officer and my phone a friend for all questions technology oriented. This is just a little bit of what I'd like to do in the next couple of minutes. First, start with a thank you. Thank you to JC. Thank you to Catherine O'Day for having us. Like, really, I feel like we're the wild card. We are a wine-rooted company, and it sounds strange for a wine business to be based in Atlanta, which is true, but it's not true for a technology company or a software company to be based in Atlanta, which is really at the heart of it, who we are. So Enolytics is the name of the company. Eno, you may know, is the ancient root linguistically for wine, and then lytics, obviously, data analytics for the wine industry. The origin story of Enolytics is that I'm a writer. I'm a journalist by trade. I write about the business of wine for Forbes and have been for about 10 years now. I recognized while doing that there was a heck of a lot of data out there in the wine world, but not a lot of analysis or use or visibility into that data, which led to Enolytics creating a couple of layers of software, SaaS for wine, business intelligence applied to wine. And I'd like to share a couple of the challenges and solutions that we face. Starting with this, I don't know if any of you are wine drinkers, but maybe you started drinking wine because of this. You like the lifestyle, you like dinner with friends and good food and good wine. And
Are you wanting to share your screen?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to make sure it sounded like you were.
I do.
We can.
I am sorry about that, JC.
That's okay. I want to give you the full view.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. So sorry about that. Data analytics for wine and spirits, Enolytics. This is the just what I'd like to cover for the next couple minutes. And then, yes, here we go. You're seeing this now, JC, right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. So who gets into wine? People who like the lifestyle, and wine has been obviously focused on the farmers for a really long time. It's considered to be a very traditional industry. However, this is the reality today. The reality is that consumers are telling us every moment of every day what they think about wine. They're leaving the digital trail for us, for wine business people to follow. It's just that historically, the wine industry has done a really bad job at that. So enter Enolytics. So I mentioned Ron Scott, who is our CTO, who's joining me on this session, as well as Chris Hoiha, who is the co-founder. So those two guys actually come from the healthcare technology space, which sounds kind of crazy, but the vision of what they know is possible from a technology perspective is incredible. And definitely the ace up our sleeve is the technology. I'm in between, I'm the bridge between the technology and wine, and what they know is possible and what I know the wine industry can bear. So here's our problem statement. As I mentioned before, there's a lot of data out there, just not a lot of analysis applied to that data. And even if you could get to the data in the first place, it has been very sort of closely held, kind of close to the chest. And there's also a fairly steep learning curve. And I wanted to just give a nod to the runners at Atlanta Tech Village, including Catherine O'Day and Billy Hoffman and Steve from my breakout group just this morning. Steep learning curve, very steep learning curve, which brings us to the solutions. How do we make data relevant to quote unquote wine people? Wine people, some of them cringe to think about data. Even though they know it's important, they don't know what to do with it. They said, I didn't get into the wine industry to do data. I got into the wine industry to do the lifestyle of wine. So these are a couple of the solutions that I want to just overview quickly. A big part of it starts with the narrative of the software and how that makes it easy for wine people to use. So here's a quick screenshot of this one module within the software, the Wine Club. So what you see here, when I say narrative, I literally mean who, what, where, when, why, and how much. That tells a great story. So if you're a wine person and you need to get to the data, you start here. You literally ask a question, such as, who are our club members? Who are they? You have the question, and then you click on the link, and then you have the answer presented to you. So making it super easy for users to get the information that they're looking for. This is the most clicked on link of the entire software. Who is at risk of leaving, in this case, our wine club? The wine club during COVID just took off because it's the highest profit margin piece of any wine sale in the country. So this is the most, and this is also a predictive analytics that's built into the software. Who are our best customers? Customer segmentation is also a big part of the software, and making it really relevant to wine people to understand who their people are, and also not just their people in general, but very specific people. Here we're looking at a list of customers in specifically the Atlanta area that we can filter down to. So second problem statement is that sales data is siloed and fragmented. That's probably true for a lot of your industries. So here's what we're doing about it. We're building an ecosystem of partners who never before have worked together. And we're combining multiple streams of data to provide wineries with a 360-degree view of every sales channel. And this is the key parts of the collective that we have established. So these companies have never worked together. So to be able to bring all of their streams together looks something like this. So this is both direct-to-consumer wine customers, as well as restaurants and retailers, which are the other ways that a wine business can sell wine. So the idea is to put them all together and to combine those streams together. And there's also forecasting involved and predictive analytics. And as I mentioned, Ron Scott is here who can answer questions specifically about what this means and the technology behind that. So here's our challenges. The challenges that we face are to identify the target users, whether they exist or we develop them. So if we have a key ownership, if we have ownership of the software we're off and running, who is going to take ownership of that? Is it somebody who already is a data person in wine, which is not that many, or do we need to cultivate them and develop them, which is more likely? Another challenge is the relationships in order to build the ecosystem and making those relationships exclusive so that we have sort of the kind of quarter of the market, so to speak, and then keeping costs low while we scale up. So the current streams of revenue are about SaaS subscriptions, as I mentioned, data monetization of massive amounts of data and customized reports, as well as thought leadership and speaking engagements. These are some of our clients that you might recognize. Some of the biggest ones, Camus, Farniente, Lady Family, Domaine Carneros, some of the smallest ones, Tranois. And the idea is that the software essentially democratizes the use of data within the wine industry, from the small people all the way up to the biggest companies. Another example of the thought leadership, the root of it is we analyzed 250 million direct-to-consumer orders going back to 2017. That's an awful lot of data. It's an awful lot of insights that we can mine and then turn into customized reports for monetization. A little bit of statistics about the success. 50% quicker DTC net sales, and wine clubs especially grew 4 times faster. And also 75% of our user base is female, which I think is a big part of the motivation for me. So here's the future streams that we're looking at. The direct-to-consumer, which took off for wine during COVID, is also going to shift into spirits. So being able to buy spirits direct-to-consumer. We're also cultivating relationships with the Department of Agriculture, especially in Texas, Michigan, and New York, to get the software into wineries. in order to sort of provide visibility into sales and production for departments of agriculture. And then finally, I mentioned the women who are the primary users of the software. So we develop data literacy programs, especially for women in agriculture. And so I want to stop there to be respectful of the time for the other presenters today. But here's my contact information.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kathy. I have one question real quick and you can answer them both. I'll have two actually. Remind me, when did you start? I saw your 2022 stats, but when did you start? And are wineries your audience as well? Or is it just the retailers that you were talking about?
Yeah, actually, let me go back here. Wineries like these are absolutely the clients, the customers. We expect to be able to get into retailers and restaurants as well as working with wholesalers. That is also part of the future revenue plan.
Awesome.
And then the company was actually founded about 6 years ago, but we started building the software about 2.5 years ago. So that was the turning point. We pivoted in order to build the software, and that's where Ron Scott comes in.
Love it. Love it. I'm so excited to hear. I'm sure I would love if there's any other questions for Ron, he's here. So maybe y'all can put them in the chat, but because we are continuing, I'd love to continue moving on. Kathy, thank you so much for sharing. And of course you'll be here the rest of the time, right? So if there's other questions, maybe you can share how to get a hold of you, if you guys are hiring or if you need anything, feel free to put that in the chat, but we're so thankful that you were able to be here and share.
Totally. Thank you, JC.
Thank you. Okay, onward to the next. As we keep moving on, I will invite Justin and Kamal if they are here. We'll wait for Kamal to see, unless Justin, it's just you to present.
I hope it's both of us, but can you all see my screen?
We can, yes.
All right, Kamal, you got your ears on? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect.
Okay, hey, how are you guys? I'm gonna kick it off. Looks like Justin, you're staring at your screen. You can probably move this slide, or I can share my screen. Either way.
Yeah, I was gonna move the slides for you.
Okay, so we're Nauvus. Primarily, we focus on the trucking industry, specific to the SMB trucking industry. About 91% of the trucks that you see on the road today that sort of move our goods to sort of make sure our supply chain keeps moving, it's typically primarily around the SMB. So they typically operate less than 6 vehicles on their fleet. And many of them typically face a lot of cash flow constraints, right? So you typically have a one driver owner operator who just purchases trucks and he start finding loads and he start moving them around. But the typical flow of what that looks like today, after a driver pick up delivery, let's say for Walmart, for example, and they deliver it, it typically takes between 30 to 45 days before they receive any payments. Right. And if you are a small shops, obviously you can't wait 45 days before you have to purchase fuel and get back on the road the next day. So one thing we found out that most SMB trucking companies do to sort of solve that problem is to rely on small banks or local banks to sell those invoices in exchange for the capital that they need for a percentage. And that workflow typically is also pretty chaotic. So enter Nauvus, if you want to move that slide. So our solution was to pretty much streamline that process for them. The process that helps them first find the freight itself, right? We connect them to their own customers in regards to where they're going to find the freight itself, which today is from multiple brokers or shippers. And then once the freight is now in the hands of the driver and they complete the delivery, instead of going through the process of waiting 30 to 45 days for payment or rely on a small banks or factoring company, we streamline that payment directly as well by making sure that they can receive their cash instantly within their accounts, right? Sort of operate as far as a new bank in that area. And the way that looks like today and how we, you're good, Justin.
Okay.
So the team today is me, Justin, and then a few engineers on the team. Some background about myself, mostly sales, go-to-markets. Spent most of my career across multiple large companies, including startups as well. One of the main startups in the space, which is now a public company, is Samsara, but they're focused mostly on compliance, visibility, and IoT. And then Justin, I will let him introduce himself.
Yeah, so Justin Grant, I spent most of my career at large enterprise, but spent a few years at Greenlight, which is an Atlanta-based fintech. And then I joined Nauvus last year and have been building out the product since then.
And before we move, I'm not sure what's the next slide, Justin.
I think we're going into the demo next.
Okay, well, I'll pass it on to Justin and we'll take it on from here.
All right. Well, I'm going to dive into the demo here. And I think real quick, sort of Kamal described the space as kind of chaotic. And as my background is not in trucking, my background is developing software, but I found it was a chaotic space. There's lots of users and it takes a lot of people just to move something from one place to another. And it was extremely chaotic. There were, carriers who owned the trucking companies. There are brokers who represent the shippers. There's dispatchers who were trying to find loads for the carriers. And then there's the drivers who are actually driving the trucks and moving them all around. And right now they're all using, pen and paper, spreadsheets, SMS, email, phone calls, all of that to communicate and record keep and do all those sorts of things. So the processes were not real good. And a lot of our software was around, let's simplify that. Let's put that all in one place. Let's integrate, let's make that happen. So this is a view that our dispatchers, so those people trying to find a load for a trucker or our carriers would see. And what we do is we aggregate data from a number of different load boards, which are effectively where brokers post information about a load that they need to move from point A to point B. So for example, in this first one on the list, there's a broker who needs to move some freight from Arizona to Arkansas, and they will pay $2,800 to do that. So typically right now what would happen was a dispatcher would be going and have multiple tabs open on their computer and be going around and doing different searches to try to find on different sites loads that they can find for their drivers. So for me, I can look across stuff. I'm going to look tomorrow. And I can just go over and I can, right now I've got everything in here. I'm a Georgia guy, so I'm gonna see if there's anything in Savannah. And of course, there is plenty of stuff coming in from Savannah. So I'm just gonna pick a load here and I can grab it, I can go into it and I can capture the information as I book the load. So we still rely on, because the industry relies on the broker and the shipper or the carrier to have a conversation, we still have to capture that information. But now we have it in the system. So I'm going to capture an email address where I can, send the invoice if we're done. Capture documents like a rate confirmation document, which is the actual document that says what we agreed to in terms of how much I'm going to move the freight for. I can capture information around, where I'm going to pick up. So I'm just going to, put some dummy information in here. And when I get to the warehouse, I'm just going to call Bill. And we'll assume that. And I've got a drop off. I'm going to drop it off on Friday, and I'm going to drop it off at a different warehouse, and that's in Panama City. And Susie will be there for me to call and let her know that I am ready to go. And now I can assign a driver. I'm also the driver, so I'm assigned to myself. And at the end of this, I can book the load. And now I've captured all the information that I need around this load. When this happens, I can now, the driver seamlessly, let's see, I'm going to try to do a switch here. Are you seeing my mobile device, hopefully?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So instantly, rather than me having to text or do anything like that, on my mobile app, I got, a notification that I've got a new load that I can move. So I can tap into that load and now I can see this information. I can, go and look at the pickup information. I could, click and go to the map if I need to, whatever I need to do to go and move this load. I can accept the load as a driver. And I can now notify the carrier that I'm going to start the load. I'm going to drive this really fast. So I'm going to go ahead and complete the load. When I complete the load, there's certain documents I have to upload or capture as part of the process to demonstrate that I've actually moved things and everything's gotten where it is. So I'm going to upload a bill of lading. I've just got there. I'm not going to upload pictures of my kids. All right. And I'm going to submit that. And so now as a driver, I've captured all the information that I need to, and now that's done successfully. And I can go back into our, if I go to the right desktop here, back into our app. And if I go back to my loads, I can see that already in my list of loads, this load is delivered. And, I get the information, I can see it was delivered by me. I got the data when it was delivered. And immediately, without having to go into any other system, send a note off to a factoring company, any of that, I can just request payment. I have an option to get paid later, or I have an option to get paid instantly. I can do an instant payment here. Of course, there's a problem when you're doing a demo, but what would normally happen is it would go out and talk to our finance partner and would do the pre-approvals and would return back the loan information for that user, and then I would get paid instantly, and all that would just happen. And let me go back over here. Let's talk about, I think, Kamal, you already talked about this a pretty good bit about the size of the market and that.
Yeah, if you want to touch on that briefly and then finish the rest.
Yeah, I was just going to jump ahead to here in the interest of time, because I know we want to make sure. Right now, we're at the stage where we're sort of doing our private beta. We're going to do our MVP launch here, and we're looking for our next set of users. And I know we're at time, so I'm going to drop it off here. And JC, if you have any questions for us, otherwise I'll hand it off.
Yeah. And of course, if anyone has any in the chat, feel free, but I'd love to know, since you're in that phase, what type of users are you looking for? How many do you maybe currently have, if you'd like to share? And what does that beta look like?
So the beta is just the initial version of software, which you basically saw. So there's a lot of flows in there that we haven't built out. We're looking for trucking carriers. We're looking for trucking dispatchers that are looking to streamline their processes. So for us, it's SMB. So think of these are truckers or carrying companies that usually have 1 to maybe 10 trucks, somewhere in that neighborhood. They're on the smaller side, or dispatching companies that may be dispatching for 10 trucks or so. Those are the kind of our target customers. We have a number on our waiting list, but we're always looking for more.
Nice. And then just one more question: who are your competitors?
Kamal, you want to hit that one?
Yeah, certainly. Competitors today falls under a few companies. One company that we like to think of as competitors is a company called TransPay. Another one's a new startup called Cloud Trucks in this space, and then a few others.
Nice. Okay. Well, if there's, of course, more questions, we will very much like for y'all to be around and put your contact info in the chat if you want to be in touch. But we appreciate seeing it. It's exciting to see. Hopefully you'll get some new betas or new partners today. And we appreciate y'all being here. There is some more questions, so feel free to connect there. And
Excellent.
then without further ado, I will invite, I think they're on one screen. Yes. So the AMP team is here. I'll let you guys take it away. Excited to hear more about what you're building.
Yeah, we're sharing our screen here. You guys, we all good? You can hear us and see
Good.
us?
I can see it. Yep.
Okay, great. So hi, I'm Adam Trian. I'm the president and CTO of AMP. This is Matt Osher, our CFO. So AMP, we've been in business. We're coming up on about 2 years since we started the development of AMP. What AMP is at a very high level, we're a white labeled mobile app platform for car washes. Yeah, been a pretty exciting first couple of years. We're currently at about 150 car wash locations that are powered by the AMP platform. So let's give you guys quick overview. So really kind of why AMP came into existence. The car wash space it is growing very, very rapidly. There's car wash on every corner. Car wash has figured out how to create memberships and recurring revenue. That led to all sorts of private equity money being poured into the industry. So we're seeing these amazing chains and brands start popping up in the car wash space, but the technology really never kept up with the growth and the sophistication of the industry. And that's really where we've come in with AMP. So current state, you have these kiosks on site. That's really the main way that car washes are currently interacting with customers, trying to sell memberships and things like that, right on the point of sale. What we do, we move that to a mobile app platform. So we give customers the power to manage their memberships on a mobile app, and we give the car wash the ability to connect with customers in ways that they can't do just through a kiosk. And then there's a back office element to what we do. So there's kind of two elements to this. One is kind of configuration. So we have a self-service portal where people can configure their mobile app, add locations, product prices, things like that. But also used by customer service. So when a customer calls in, quickly understand who that customer is, being able to solve that customer's problems and get them going. Advertisements and marketing is a huge part of our platform. So once we get a customer to download our app and give us their email and phone number, we're now able to do segmented marketing and targeted marketing towards those customers, where in the past it was very scattershot, maybe an advertisement on the back of a receipt. One of the cool things that in that picture, one of our car wash chains that we work with, they're the official car wash of the Colorado Rockies. So we're the official app of the Colorado Rockies. So every time a double's hit, we do a stadium takeover, download the app, get a free wash, and then we could start those customers on a customer journey to try to get them to come back to the car wash and maybe sign up for membership. And really it's all about the data. So very limited data in the industry right now. I think that was kind of a common trend of listening to the other presentations. So we track absolutely everything. Downloads of the apps, clicks on deals, redemptions of promotions, where people are washing, when they're washing, and we make it really easy for our car washes to pull that data and analyze it.
All right, so just to take it kind of one level deeper as to what capabilities you get as the car wash and what capabilities your car wash is giving to the customers. First and foremost, you get a fully branded mobile app. So you can see here that the logo, the background images, the text, the colors, the fonts, all the deals and locations that are in there, those are all fully customizable. So it's the same backend, but it's 100% white labeled. So as a car wash, you get to really make it your own. It shows up in the app stores, your own app. So as far as your end users are concerned, it feels like basically the AMP does not exist and you're directly engaging with the car wash. So first, in terms of just blocking and tackling, we need to enable purchases. So the end users of the car wash, they're going to be purchasing memberships. They're also going to be upgrading their memberships. They're going to be purchasing individual washes, gift cards, all the different things that they would normally do in that rusty old kiosk they can now do on the mobile app. And we also have some other POS systems in the works, like a kiosk and a tablet. So that tablet is actually something that already exists. That's what the salespeople on staff at the car washes are able to use to sell directly to customers. So there's different models that our car washes are going to use to engage with their customers and try to sell them memberships and washes. They could either make it very self-serve, hey, download the app and go ahead and purchase what you want, or they can be more proactive. They can go up to the car and have the tablet in hand, have the payment reader there, and kind of get them very quickly signed up, get them on the right plan, try to upsell and cross-sell them. And then marketing. So this is probably our biggest differentiator versus any other solution in the market is how we handle marketing. So customer segmentation, that's extremely powerful because you're able to take all the data that we're collecting and use it to create specific audiences for specific messages and deals. And then we have different channels that you're able to push that out. So whether it's text messages, including MMS, push notifications, and then also emails. And then we have customer journeys that help you orchestrate all of that. So a customer journey is a way of looking for a specific trigger, like a customer signing up for a membership, a customer getting their 4th wash in a month, and putting them on a very specific journey of messages and deals in order to maximize what you're able to do in terms of that customer relationship. And then once you get the customers into the app and get them signed up for a membership, how do they then get their wash? So there's a variety of different models that we support. So you can use the mobile app itself where we would generate a barcode and you scan that at the kiosk and that opens the gate, lets you go through the wash. But there's also more seamless approaches using RFID stickers or license plate readers that let you just connect the car to the membership. The customer pulls right up to the gate, recognizes that they're a member, and just lets them through. So it's very kind of light touch. Customer support, so Adam mentioned that we have this backend portal that lets you very easily look up a user that calls in, see what their wash activity is, what their invoice history is, any previous issues, and help manage that support issue. And then finally, data and analytics. So we have this really robust data set, and we surface it in a variety of ways, depending on how the car wash wants to use the data. So we have Power BI reports and dashboards that are pre-populated off the shelf, but we also let you kind of do what you want with that data. If you want to combine it with other data you have using things like Snowflake or our API, we expose that data in a very accessible way. All right, and then before we get into the demo, just finally, what are the results that our customers are seeing at those 150 locations? So first, just huge growth in sales. Because of the ability to segment customers and market to them much more aggressively, more targeted, our customers are able to grow more. They're able to get more people into memberships, get them into higher value memberships, and keep them there longer. So you can see we've had some customers that have had massive growth compared to kind of the typical, single percentage growth. And then, as part of that growth, cutting down on churn or attrition. So it's common to have people come in, they stay a member for a month or two, and then they go to another car wash, or they decide that they're not getting enough value. And so with all the different tools you get with AMP, including the ability to help prevent failed payments, but also keep customers happy, AMP's able to lower significantly the churn that our customers are seeing. And then finally, just much more engaged and happy customers. They're opening emails a lot more frequently than they would otherwise. They're much happier with the app, and they're also giving very positive ratings, just in Google for the individual car wash locations. So we've seen overall uptick in customer satisfaction at our car washes because they have this mobile app that makes their life so much easier and just helps them much more easily engage with the car wash.
Okay, cool. There's so much in this platform. We kind of thought we'd kind of show a couple of key capabilities just to give you guys a taste of what we could do on this platform. So, front and center is this mobile app that customers are going to download for that car wash. And the amount of flexibility car washes have to brand the mobile app is something we're really proud of. So everything in the app that you see, the layout of the pages, every image, logo, every line of text, the colors, obviously locations, pricing, all that is configurable through our backend portal. So a lot of our customers are growing really fast. They're adding new locations. So we help with those location activations. Really within a couple minutes, you could add a new location to the app and get it up and going in membership. And we could launch a new app for a car wash in about 2 weeks, fully customized for that car wash. So some more kind of back-end portal cool stuff we're doing. This is an example of our built-in survey tool. So this is all about segmenting our customers, knowing more about our customers. So not only are we tracking what washes are they purchasing or what membership level are they, things like that, we're also able to add these surveys, ask them very specific questions, and then use the answers to these questions to further market to them. This is a great example of asking your favorite sports team. If somebody hates the Hawks, I don't want to keep on sending them every month this promotion to win Hawks tickets. They're going to end the subscription. They're going to cancel that communications. And then in the app, you're able to target who to show these surveys to. So when they complete an action in the app, we can pop up these surveys and start collecting more information about our customers. we thought that this is kind of cool to show self-service fleet management. So fleet management, let's say, enterprise car wash or enterprise rentals, they want to take their fleet of rental cars and wash them at your car wash. Currently, this is a really manual process at car washes. So we're trying to digitize everything these car washes are trying to do. So now when a car wash wants to add a fleet program, they go into our backend portal, they set the pricing and the terms of the fleet program, they give the fleet admin a link. So they're able to go into a self-service portal. So this would be in the enterprise rentals example, someone from enterprise would go in, they're able to add and remove users to the fleet program. They're able to see all their invoices and billing. And then when someone in the program pulls up, they just have to have the app. We know that they're in this fleet program and we're able to activate a wash and then consolidate the invoicing for all the washes for a given month. Yeah, I think this is the last screenshot we have, this little tablet tool. So kind of think Chick-fil-A style, where they kind of come and they're able to work the line and sell things. That's what people are doing with this tablet app. And we made it really, really quickly to decide if someone's interested for membership. Memberships is really the name of the game, getting that recurring revenue, flattening seasonality. So within 30 seconds, you collect someone's phone number, verify that phone number. So now we could connect with them and continue to market to them. Get them to tap their credit card. We send them information about how to download the app, and they're off and running with the car wash. So yeah, there's a lot more to the platform, but hopefully that gave you a good taste. And yeah, really appreciate you guys including us in this meeting, and excited to talk to you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. I feel like there's so much there. I appreciate you sharing and running through it. We have 2 minutes left, so I might let it, there is some questions here, but I also thought maybe if you guys will stay around for a bit, right? We'll be mindful at the 9 o'clock, but we'll be here for a bit. But thank you so much for sharing, and I hope that you'll put your contact here so people can connect. It's really great to see where you guys have come from, and maybe I will continue, but how did you think through launching the product? Like those different, like, so you had the mobile, then you had the app, etc. But I'm going to have you answer that in the chat, because I just like to hear a little bit like about your process, maybe even sharing, how do you think through product roadmap, etc. But I'll have you again put that in the chat. I'll share my screen real quick just so we can know what's coming up next. And then we'll stay here for a few more minutes to share needs and leads should anyone want, just because I love, being a community where people are obviously share their stories, and then of course share what they need. So next up, we always have an Atlanta healthcare meetup every May, should be in mid-May. So keep an eye out for that. And of course, we always have events coming up, and we're sharing about startups often. We run a podcast called Five and Thrive. It launches every Friday. So if you want to hear any jobs, you want to hear any products coming up, any funding announcements, we try and cover it. So I will stop the share there. I will also stop recording, and then we can, if you want to drop off, it was great to see you, and we'll stay for another 5 minutes or 3 to 5 minutes. If anyone has any needs and leads to share, then we can also share that out. So thank you all. Thank you to our 3 companies, our 6 wonderful founders, producers, builders for coming, and we appreciate y'all being here. Have a good day. For those who need to go, and feel free to turn on your screen if you'd like. See you, Jay.
JC. See you.
Yeah.